Well, I got a request to do a little walk around for our trailer, our camp trailer, and a little background on that. We used to have a two-door Sahara Jeep and two dogs, and they took up a lot of space. The dogs took up a lot of space, plus the Sahara, the two-door Sahara, didn't have a whole lot of space in the back. So camping was a really a practice of packing. You know, we had a hard time packing everything most of the time. But when we didn't have much space with the Sahara, we decided we needed maybe a little trailer to carry, to bring our stuff along with us. And we started looking at different trailer options, and there's some pretty elaborate ones, but we didn't want to pull a lot of weight. And the one we ended up with was a Tentrax. We started looking at Tentrax, and we found one on sale that somebody was selling used in Riverside, California. And we live in Northern California, so I had to drive all the way to Riverside to see this thing. And it turned out it was a really good deal. It was a little on the pricey side, but these are trailers are not cheap. And these people had hardly ever used the thing and had it parked in a garage most of the time, so it wasn't even outdoors. We keep ours out in the back. You'll see it, and it's out in the sun all the time. But the trailer worked out pretty good for us. It has a tent on top of it and has all the storage inside the tub that you need for whatever little things that you need to carry. And we carry our stove and bedding and the tent and all kinds of odds and ends in there in the trailer. And then plus the trailer itself has some tongue storage, has a rack on it, and a box. Those are all, if you bought one of these brand new, those are all additional accessories that you have to pay for. In our case, they were a part of the deal, so turned out to be pretty good. The steps in the back are aluminum steps, and that's also an extra added on thing. I don't know if they add those on now automatically on the newer ones or not, but this trailer has actually revolutionized our ability to go camping, and it goes just anywhere the Jeep goes. I mean, it's got more clearance under it than the Jeep does, and I switched over the rims and hubs to match the Jeep. So the one thing about it didn't have was a spare, and so to me it was kind of a iffy proposition. Even though I carry a patch kit and a compressor, if we had a flat, there's limited possibilities for getting out of there. So so I switched the rims and the hubs over to match the Jeep, and so now with the two tires on the trailer and the spare that we have on the Jeep, we're pretty much capable of fixing a flat, and possibly two. If we had to, if we had two flats on the Jeep, we could take one of the tires off the trailer and then head for the nearest town and get tires fixed. So that really helped us a lot for security, for getting out in the boonies. And we like to go in places that are very remote. We don't like camping in campgrounds, and we don't go, very rarely do we stay in a campground. And so this trailer can go in places that are pretty rough. We've taken this trailer over places like Steel Pass in Saline, going into Saline Valley, coming down Lippincott, and various places in the Argus Range and Panamint Range, and never had any trouble with it. And in the rare occasion that you get to a road that you don't want to try going up, if it's not one that you're going to camp on, you can unhook the trailer, leave it, and go do what you want, and then come back and hook it back up again. So lots of options there. So, but this trailer's really been a good trailer for us, and Tentrax is the name of the brand. I'll put a link in the description, and it's been a really good one. So I'll show it to you. This is the place that currently we store it. We generally keep it out in the weather, and so it's sitting out in the sun all the time. Unlike the people that had it before us, they kept it in a garage. We don't have a garage here to put it in. So anyway, the tongue came with this box, which is a pretty nice deal. It's got a sealed, got a rubber seal around it, and it's watertight. We carry a lot of stuff in here. There's some steps that go on the back, a whole bunch of other things. Necessities of life. And but you know, storage there is a good, that's a good thing to store things. Good place to store things. The tongue, the old tongue didn't have this, but the new tongue's got this little foot that you can move. You can tilt it up. You can pull the pin out, and once you have it hooked up to the Jeep, you can pull the pin out, and you can tilt this up to get it out of your way. So we have locking hitch pins here just to keep you from stealing it. Also, I bought it came with a pintle hook and a ball, and I ended up buying this. It's called Lock and Roll. I'll put a link in the description. Lock and Roll makes an articulating hitch, and this is the one side that goes to the trailer. I'll show you what the side that goes to the Jeep looks like. This is the other side of that hitch. The hitch part of it on the trailer drops into this, and these things flip across. Then a pin goes through here. There's one on each side, and then there's a pin that goes through here. It locks it all in. And this is this articulating hitch goes completely all the way around. It will go upside down if you want it to, and I wouldn't ever want to do that, but unfortunately it will also allow the trailer to go upside down. I've seen people flip their trailers over before, so I'm pretty careful about that when we're on uneven surfaces. The trailer comes with a 7-pin or maybe it's a 6-pin round plug there, and then we've converted it over to the 4-pin because that's what the Jeep had. Now the Jeep, we've got the Jeep modified for our new trailer that we just bought, that's got trailer brakes. This doesn't have any trailer brakes, so the new plug-in has trailer brakes, so we had to convert. We have to use a converter to get the 4-pin. Now the tray fits. I have three 3-gallon roto packs that go right here. I put a barbecue in the middle, and I put 4 water bricks on the side, over here, 4 water bricks. Water bricks are pretty cool things. I'll show them to you. These are water bricks. They hold 3.5 gallons a piece. I have 4 of these. That's 14 gallons total, and that'll get us through about a week of camping and dry camping. And most of the time we don't have water sources in places we go camping, and we do a lot of desert camping, so we don't have any other water source most of the time. Although I do carry a life straw filter. In the rare occasion we do have a creek and we need water, we can get some more, but very rarely does that need to happen. The water bricks are pretty cool. They kind of nest together with these things here. This goes together with this, and they kind of nestle together like that. Kind of keeps them tight in there. So we carry 4 of these on this side, and you know, so there's a lot of tongue weight here, and tongue weight is very important if you want to have if you don't want your trailer to fishtail on you when you're driving down the road. You need to have adequate tongue weight. So at any rate, the tub itself is where you store everything. I'll show you that in a minute. At any rate, the rims and the hubs match the Jeep, so if I needed 2 spares, I've got 2 on the trailer that I could use if I had to. Okay, the trailer has this rack on top that holds 100 pounds, and we put a couple chairs up here and some other stuff, but we keep it out well under 100 pounds. This thing opens up like a clamshell. It's got some struts on it here that help you open it up. I've had to replace those a couple times, but those are a typical wear situation. The clamshell itself opens up like this. And it's a fiberglass shell, and it's a little heavy, but it's manageable. My wife and I usually do it together. And then the bed platform for the tent has little legs like that. And it's padded, so you really don't need any more pad. I sleep on this, but I have another pad for my wife, so make her more comfortable. You know how it is. You have to keep your wife comfortable. That's perfectly usable to sleep on, and it's nice. It's soft. So this thing, I'll show you the inside in a minute, but this thing, the platform here for the tent, goes flat and latches down with these latches over here, which are very difficult to deal with. So once you get this thing latched down, it's the platform's right. This is kind of held up right now because I've got stuff inside. Normally we take everything out of this trailer before we set the tent up. Everything that we're going to use. And right now I've got bedding in here. The tent sets up with these bars that hold the tent up and give it some structure. This one comes up at about that angle right there. This one's almost straight up. And this one is up about like that. And this is a little tricky. My wife and I have a way of doing it, but it's a little tricky. There's probably another way of doing this. I just don't know what it is. But this is the way about the height of the tent. There's plenty of room in there to move around. Sits on, drapes over the top of these bars. Now if you need to, once you have the tent set up, you can actually still access under the storage area by lifting off. Usually what we do is just lift this up, get what it is we need to get out of it, and then close it back up again. Okay, occasionally I'll forget to get a propane bottle out for my scuttle, and I'll have to get in there. But most of the time we take out everything that we're going to need, and then we have it out already, so very rarely do I need to get into this. So, you fold this back up. That's how easy it folds up. It's a little heavy. If there's two of you doing it, much easier that way. But I'll show you what the storage area looks like inside. So when it's open, the storage area inside is pretty substantial. There's this is a tent here. I got the tent kind of packed in there, and but there's quite a bit of room here. There's different ways different things you can put in here. I've got all my stuff in here, but the tub's pretty good size. And then on both sides you have these little cubby hole areas where you can put stuff. I have a rain fly and a bunch of other things in here. So this is some bedding. The bedding was what was holding up that center part. And then the lid actually snaps together with this little strap right here. So you can lift that off. I leave that connected so that when I open back up, the thing will come up together. You can put the steps that we have go right on that receiver there, and they're aluminum steps. There's two steps, and you step up, and this is the top step here to get in and out. And that's how you get into it. One of the things that's nice, and when you're up off the ground like that, is things like Mormon crickets don't bother you because you're up off the ground. If you're sleeping in a tent, you know, things that creep and crawl may have a tendency to affect you. So at any rate, that's pretty much the whole trailer. Tentrax is used to be a company that was in Oregon, and when this was built, it was in Oregon. There's a guy that bought the company, and now he's in another city that I can't remember. It's back east, and so he bought the company, and a guy named Brent, and he's been very helpful every time I've done anything. Like when I switched over the hubs, he ordered the hubs for me to make sure they worked, and for Jeep. And I could have done it myself through eTrailer, but he did that, and I appreciated that, because then I was sure that I was not going to put something together that didn't work. Also, one other thing, last thing, is that I built this little rack. This didn't have the rack. I built that with some aluminum angle and bars that I bought, and to hold in the rotopacks and the water, and keeps everything together, and that's worked out pretty good for me. So but having the rack, it's got lots of tie down areas. You can ratchet strap anything you want down on it. It's real usable. All in all, I would say this is a very good tent for trailer for somebody that needs extra storage like us. It's the tent's good. It's waterproof. Comes with you can actually, it didn't come with it. You had to buy the rain fly separately. The rain fly was a little pricey, but the rain fly, we've had it out in the rain. It works quite well and kept us dry inside. And so we were in Ajo, Arizona once, and my wife tried to talk me into putting a rain fly up, and I didn't want to, because at that time we didn't have this nice rain fly that we have now. But we didn't put the rain fly up that night, and it rained, and we got real wet because the tent was old and it wasn't waterproof anymore. The tent we've had that thing out in some gale force winds, and it stayed on. The new tent that we bought is not quite as durable doesn't stay on quite so well. We had to do some modifications to it to make it work, but it's all easily done. So all in all, I'd say the Tentrax is really a worthwhile investment for somebody that needs a little trailer to store stuff, and it's a little on the pricey side, but then all trailers are. So the new trailer that we bought, I'm not even going to tell you how much that one cost. You'll be seeing that sometime in the future. That's about it on that trailer. Here's some coneflowers and some Shasta daisies.